Hey, what's going on, everybody? Gonna finally do this video on this John W. Smith SFC. It is a great knife. I love almost everything about it. I got this knife as a Sebenza replacement, pretty much. I had a couple Sebenzas, the plain. I had a couple smalls, a couple larges. They were all 21s, and they were all plain. I did have a small micarta. Absolutely loved it. But at the time, I couldn't justify a knife that small for around $400. So anyway, back to the point. At this point, I think when I got this, I just got rid of my Zan, just because I still wanted to try new knives. I had a couple, like I said, a couple large and small plain Sebenzas, and I always ended up trading them because I just found that they were just a little too plain for me visually. I wanted something a little more. I saw this knife, and I fell in love with it. Aesthetically, it's one of my favorite knives. The grooves or mills in here, I think, it's a great touch. It kind of flows with the knife, and they do actually provide some traction, some grip. It's a great design. I like it a lot. The knife to me has a whole machined, mechanical look to it. I dig it. I like it a lot. The jimping back here, somewhat tractional, somewhat useful. I really don't hold a knife in reverse grip too often, so yeah, it's just right there. It's a nice look. That's about it. In my other video, I showed you the standoffs were fairly unique. They are very nice, very detailed, very detailed. I love the fact that they're so detailed, just because I just feel like it's the little things that add to make this a big picture, such a great knife. All right, let's go into the blade. And this is a drop point with a swedge. It's got a good amount of belly, which I love in a knife. I like a nice knife with a lot of belly. This is a stonewash with a high polish to it. It's a very fine, higher polished stonewash. Not quite a mirror, but it is very fine. It does hide wear very well still, but it's a nicer, kind of like a more gentleman's refined stonewash. Kind of similar to the stonewash on an RJ Martin I had. I do love the blade shape. I love the swedge it has. Now let's go into handle. The handle is a little more ergonomic than a Sebenza. It feels very comfortable in hand. The swell and then the dip here, I was trying to find ways to be able to rest my thumb in here, and I could really only do that in kind of like an extended grip if I needed reach for something. But I kind of feel this knife is more of a harder use EDC. It's like a gentleman's EDC, but it definitely, I feel like this can stand up to pretty tough use. So my normal grip for the knife is right about here. The jimping on the back of the blade is very functional. It's not as sharp as a Spyderco jimping, but I feel like it's a little more aggressive than Sebenza jimping. So it's a good medium. I like it a lot. It is useful when you have to dig into the knife, but it's not overly aggressive where it bothers you at all. The blade steel is S30V, as you can see right there. This is the number one, which is pretty cool. I do like the cleanness of the pocket clip is reversible, tip up, tip down, and they do have a filler cap, kind of like in the Sebenza. The screws are interesting. They're really the only part of this knife that really protrudes, but I kind of like it. I don't know why, I kind of like that. And I can definitely see where some people wouldn't. But overall, I think it's a great looking knife. I think it flows very well. I'm kind of jumping around here, guys. Back to the handle real quick. So back to where I said I was trying to find a way to really use this, because here it seems like you're not really using that little dip. One, I think it's used just to kind of make the handle a little bit smaller. You could definitely keep 4 fingers on it and pinch back here, but it's a little cramped. You can choke up well on this knife, although I did choke up on it the other day, and that's how I got this. So that'll be included later on in the video. The lock bar has a lot of tension on it, but it only goes right here. Has a lot of tension. I cannot push it any farther than that. That's digging into my thumb, and I'm trying to push it hard back. It is easy just to push and unlock it. It's very simple, and it only travels a little bit, but it's a lot of tension, so it's a strong lock bar. You can see J.W. Smith, his signature, on the blade tang right there. I did put a mirror polish on this, but it did come with a very nice edge. I bought this slightly used, so the edge was a little dull, so I just brought it back. I just love the look of this knife. I think it flows very well. The blade and the handle are very proportional to each other. Yeah, at first glance you'd probably say they look the same length, and they're pretty close, which is something I like in a knife. There you go. The D10 is pretty nice. The knife is centered very well. Tolerances are not quite as tight as a Sebenza, but that doesn't really make a big, that really doesn't bother me. The tolerances are nice. The opening is extremely smooth. It's pretty much one pressure the whole way. Very smooth. There's no grinding. There's nothing. It's noiseless. It's very smooth. The lockup is nice. I think this is a great knife. Also, the size. I would say this blade length is about 3 1/4 inches. Pretty much right in between a small and large Sebenza. The thumb studs protrude away from the handle a little bit. The thumb studs, I'm trying to say, are a little thicker than the handle. They go out a little wider, which is nice. It makes the knife extremely easy to open. Sorry guys, I don't mean to have my hand here. So you can open the knife many ways. Of course, it doesn't work. Regular flick. I guess some people like to dig their nail underneath the thumb stud and flick open. Very easy. I don't know why, but I like to open a knife sometimes. This one and the nums on with like the meat of my thumb right here, just kind of push up like that. So kind of like that. It's easy. You kind of just grab it, find it, push it up, and bam, it's open real quick. You can also open this very easily in reverse grip, just like that. So it could be deployed in any number of ways, and I really like that about this knife. It makes it a lot more fun to play with. Oh, sorry guys. But I think this is a great looking blade. I think it's a great Sebenza replacement if for some reason it's not just stylish enough for you, or you can't find a micarta or an inlaid one that you like. I think it's a very comparable replacement. I think it has a little more style. I really like it. Alright, so all I have been doing is raving about this knife. I think this is a very solid design. I think John W. Smith makes a lot of great knives. This is a collaboration, by the way, this SFC. I hope I said this previously. It's an SFC. This is a collaboration between him, his son, and I believe one other person. Oh wow, I forgot I didn't finish my sentence my thought about the handle. Pretty much, alright, so I'm gonna stop talking about this. You can see the handle swells right here. I think that fits in the palm very well. So if you did have to grip this knife hard for hard cutting against something, whatever it is, instead of doing fine cuts like this or choking up like that, I believe the reason why it dips here and swells here is to really put the fat of the knife in your palm, the meat of your palm. And I'm gripping this knife tight, and it's a very comfortable. I definitely feel like I can use it like this. It's a very comfortable knife. Anyway, so a couple negative things about this. And I don't think it's negative in the design. I think I kind of just got a lemon here a little bit, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Very minor deal. There is a little bit of blade play. I don't know if you guys can hear that. You might be able to hear that. I don't even know where the mic is on this thing. But here, I'll see if I can show you. Can you see that? Very, very minimal side-to-side blade play. And I really don't even care about that. What I do care is, if you can tell, it actually does have noticeable lock rock. And I'm not really even pushing down too hard. Another thing is where I said this, the lock bar has a lot of tension, but it only goes right there. So you could see the lockup right here, okay? And it has a little blade play. But if I push this in to there, that's 50%, that's a good lockup. There is zero blade play now. Zero, none. And what you just heard was a lock snapping back. So if I push this in, zero blade play. This thing is as solid as a Sebenza right now. This thing is solid. right now, and I believe this is where the lock should be, and it's tight. So you just hear it, it just unstuck from being over there. But this is as far pretty much as a lock bar will travel, so I believe the lock bar spring needs to be tensioned to go over farther. I did contact John W. Smith about this, and he got back to me the same exact day. His email was very friendly. He pretty much said he is extremely busy right now working on a project for an upcoming show, but the first week of November to send the knife in and he'll fix it right up. So that really made me feel good. His customer service, I mean, it was John himself. He said he'd take care of this no problem, which I love. You know, not everybody's not perfect all the time. I don't think that this one knife reflects what he does, and I certainly haven't taken it as that. Not really a big deal to me that this is a lemon. Yes, it's unfortunate. I'm gonna have to send it in, but pretty much said send it right in, no charge, no big deal. He'll fix it right up. And I really appreciate that. I think that, you know, that speaks about his character and the quality of his knives, where he finds that he sees something is wrong. Yep, let me take care of it right away. So that's great. It's disappointing because I like this knife so much, but you know, things happen. No big deal. And I guess I can show you guys this just because. So I'll tell you the story of this. Yesterday I was choking up doing some fine cutting, and I guess you know how when you want to really control something, you kind of put a little more pressure than you thought. So just by putting too much pressure on my thumb, or from my thumb on the back of this blade, it closed on me. The lock failed, it closed on me, and this part went into my finger like that. Not a bad cut, no big deal. Bled for a little bit. I'm sure you could barely tell if I took the band-aid off, but yeah, that's what happened. No big deal. Nobody got hurt. Too bad. I mean, little blood. It's good to cycle through blood every once in a while. No big deal. For that to cut into me like it did, though, I must have got this thing pretty damn sharp. So my sharpening skills are increasing, you know. Working on it with the 2000 grit sandpaper, then stropping it up after, I'm getting this edge pretty darn good. But that is the story. So unfortunately, it's not perfect right now. It will be sent in. John W. Smith seems like a great guy that stands behind his work. And I will definitely be updating you guys when I send it out and when I send this back in. I probably will still use this for light chores around the house, you know, light EDC stuff. But, you know, nothing too hard. Pretty much you can't have negative pressure on this knife. Anything forward, it's fine. I don't have a lot of negative pressure on my knives anyway, so I'm not really too concerned, but I don't really go by spine whack tests either, but I just kind of want to show you guys how little pressure this takes. It's really nothing at all. You see that? That's how, I mean, that failed just like that. And that's, I mean, no, that's nothing. I mean, that's, I don't even know if that's a pound of pressure. That's so, unfortunately, that's discouraging, but hopefully it comes back fixed. Otherwise, this is an amazing knife. I know it's a big otherwise, but I'm sure the other ones that were made were perfect condition. You know, he has a reputation for impeccable work. So I'm kind of giving you that first part review as if the knife was fine and perfect. So if it had solid lockup and no issues, this would probably be one of my most favorite knives. I absolutely love the thing. It's great. Alright, here's a little size comparison. Next to my SNG, you can see the blade length. The SFC has it. Same sweep, longer blade. Handle, the SNG is a longer handle. And overall, it's a longer knife by a decent amount. But that's what I love about this. Bigger knife, overall bigger by a decent amount, and the SFC has a longer blade. Paramilitary 2. Blade length about the same. About the same. For all intents and purposes, they're about the same blade length. Handles, paramilitary is definitely bigger. I would say this SFC is heavier though. Titanium versus carbon fiber. I guess one more. Compare it to the Mannix. Why not? Blade is bigger on the SFC. Handle is smaller on the SFC, and overall smaller. Well, there you go, guys. Hopefully this was good. Hopefully I didn't bore the shit out of you for 15 minutes going on and on about this knife. If it's bad, let me know. I'll redo it. I don't know why. I really didn't feel like I was flowing. But whatever. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll probably post up another video. I can post up another video on it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you later. One last view. But yeah, this, as you can see, guys, this thing fires open. It's smooth and quick. As soon as that issue gets resolved, this will be an amazing knife. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.